What if everything you were taught about the birth of America was only half the truth? Long before Columbus crossed the Atlantic, before the Pilgrims stepped onto Plymouth Rock, before the United States was even an idea, there were cities without steel, highways without wheels, and civilizations that mapped the stars better than many modern nations. Their stories were not destroyed, they were buried. This is the forgotten history of America, hidden in mounds, whispered in stone, and ignored by time. Chapter 1. America Before History Books. When most Americans think of ancient history, they think of Egypt, Rome, or Greece. Rarely do they imagine North America as a land of advanced civilizations. But thousands of years before European contact, America was already alive with complex societies. By 12,000 BCE, humans had crossed the Bering Land Bridge from Asia into North America. These early people did not simply survive, they adapted, built, and evolved. They hunted mammoths, mastered fire, and passed down knowledge through oral tradition. Over thousands of years, these nomadic groups transformed into organized societies, and some of them built things that still confuse historians today. Chapter 2. The Mound Builders, America's Lost Engineers. Across the Midwest and the Mississippi Valley, there are massive earthworks, some shaped like animals, others like pyramids. They were built by the Mound Builders long before Europeans arrived. One of the most astonishing sites is Cahokia, near modern-day St. Louis. At its peak around 1100 CE, Cahokia was larger than London. Population over 20,000. Giant pyramidal mounds, astronomical observatories, organized trade networks across the continent. Monk's Mound, the largest structure there, is bigger at its base than the Great Pyramid of Giza. Yet for centuries, Americans were told native tribes were too primitive to build such cities, so historians blamed a mysterious lost race. The truth was uncomfortable. Chapter 3. The Sky Watchers of North America. At Cahokia stood a wooden structure historians now call Woodhenge, a massive solar calendar. It accurately tracked solstices, equinoxes, agricultural seasons. This means ancient Americans understood astronomy, geometry, and timekeeping with extreme precision. They didn't just live on the land, they read the sky. Similar alignments exist across Chaco Canyon in New Mexico, Poverty Point in Louisiana, Serpent Mound in Ohio. The Serpent Mound, stretching over 1,300 feet, aligns perfectly with solar events. Coincidence or forgotten science? Chapter 5. The Serpent and the Stars. The Great Serpent Mound is one of the most mysterious structures in the world. It represents a snake swallowing an egg, a symbol found in ancient cultures worldwide. Some researchers believe it marks a comet impact around 1070 CE. Others believe it represents cosmic cycles, life, death, rebirth. What's terrifying is this. The builders had no written language, yet they encoded astronomical data into the land itself. This was not art, it was knowledge preservation. Chapter 5. A Continent Connected by Trade. Ancient America was not isolated tribes living alone, it was a connected world. Archaeological evidence shows trade routes stretching from the Great Lakes for copper, to the Gulf of Mexico for shells, to the Rocky Mountains for obsidian. This means ancient Americans traveled thousands of miles without horses, without wheels. They carried ideas, rituals, and technologies. America had its own version of globalization long before Europe imagined it. Chapter 6. The Arrival of the Strangers. When Europeans arrived in the late 1400s, they did not discover an empty land.
They walked into a world already shaped by centuries of civilization. But something devastating happened. Diseases like smallpox arrived before many explorers did. Entire cities collapsed without a single battle. By the time Europeans reached deep inland, many civilizations were already gone. Ruins remained, stories faded, history was rewritten. Chapter 7: Erasing the Past. Why don't Americans learn this history in school? Because it challenges a powerful narrative. If America was already advanced, then colonization was not civilization, it was replacement. So historians minimized, ignored, or credited to imaginary outsiders. But the Earth remembers. The mounds remain. The alignments still work. The mystery survives. Chapter 8: What America Forgot. America's true ancient history tells us something powerful. Civilization does not belong to one race, one continent, or one culture. Innovation rises wherever humans respect knowledge, nature, and community. The first Americans were not savages. They were engineers, astronomers, philosophers, city builders. Their legacy still lies beneath American soil, silent, patient, waiting.